Alright guys, welcome back to another video. As you can probably tell from my voice, not feeling brilliant, but as you can see the fish all think they're getting fed, so they're all over this side of the 125. Today, we're not checking out the 125, we're actually looking at the 40-gallon breeder that right now we have got. Ooh, that bally eye though. Look at that guy. Incredibly happy with this tank right now. But as I was saying, we're looking at the 40-gallon that right now has got the Blue Neon growouts in, and this, as a lot of you know, is my main breeding focus with the African cichlids, so let's check it out. So this is currently the home for the vast majority of the Blue Neon fry and juveniles that I've got. Just going to give them a quick feeding of the Cobalt Ultra Colour Flakes. Been feeding this food now for about 3 or 4 months. Really like it, and the probiotics, prebiotics in there really help keep the fish healthy and on top form. It's basically like yogurt for our gut, is how I imagine it. And they all seem to chow it down pretty nicely as well, so obviously that's a positive. So, if you know quite a lot about American-sized tanks, this is obviously a 40 breeder. A lot of breeders tend to use this tank as its dimensions are pretty good, holds a decent amount of water volume, and it only takes up 3 feet width-wise, which is beneficial when you're wanting to start a fish room, as it's not quite as wide as a 55-gallon, which is in fact 4 feet. Filtration on this tank, we've got a sponge filter that I got off Amazon. I think it was like $5. Obviously I've got a little air pump connected to that, and then I've got an Aqua Clear 70 that I'm currently running on here. Also, once the fish room is completely done, this tank will just be running on probably 2 or 3 sponge filters. Still yet to order my pump on Gemco, but we're getting there. Just got to save a little bit more money. I've got a pre-filter on there just to protect any of the fry, because I've had them in here for quite a while, so didn't want any of the smaller fry getting sucked up through the filter, as that could have been very messy. And of course I want to save as many of these Blue Neons as I can. Heater in the tank, we've just got an Aqueon Pro. Love these kind of heaters. I'll link a lot of the products that I mentioned in this video in the description, so you can check them out on Amazon or whatever if you really want. But I've used these heaters now for probably 3 or 4 years and I've had no issues with them. Green light is on there just to indicate that the temperature is at your desired level, which is, I think, 79-80 degrees. Higher temperatures usually mean that the fish are going to grow quicker because it increases the metabolism, then you can feed them more and blah blah blah, goes from there. And I've gone over that in previous videos. In fact, I'll link that video above top right of the screen right now. I think it was growing out African cichlids, 6 tips. Really cool video, so make sure you check that out if you're interested. Decoration in the tank, we've just got some fake wood and then 2 stones just to give some of the fish a little bit of cover. And as you can tell, they're not quite used to this lighting yet. I just took this lighting from the 125 and they're all being a little bit skittish, but throughout the course of the video you'll see they'll get used to it. Bare bottom tank, just because it's easier to clean. I do like using sand just because I enjoy watching them sift through the sand for food and stuff like that, but for right now I just think this is the best option for me, and it just makes maintenance way easier, as you can just literally siphon up the uneaten food and obviously crap from the bottom of the tank when you're doing your water changes. Weekly water changes on this tank, I do about 50% every Wednesday, and that seems to work out pretty nicely. The fish seem to be growing nicely too, so happy about that, and I'll be selling a lot of these in the near future, both to people locally and to people over the US if it's not too far away for me to ship. Still pretty new in terms of shipping, so I don't like shipping too far just yet, because I'm just slowly easing my way into it. So that's pretty much all the equipment and stuff done. So now let's talk about the fish and look at them in a little bit more detail. So all these Blue Neon juveniles have came from my original breeding male that I am now breeding with the vast majority of his daughters. Line breeding in fish just helps to strengthen the strain. You can get better coloration, you can get better finnage. Obviously, when you think about it in that regard with dad and daughter, it's a little bit weird. In fact, yeah, it's beyond weird. But in the fish world, it does help. A lot of breeders have been doing it for years, and you can actually go like 5, 6, 7 generations into it before you start seeing some issues. With African cichlids, you see some different barring patterns going on. You might see fin issues and even crooked mouths. And that's basically when line breeding has been taken to the extreme or been done too much, and then you'll start seeing those deformities in the fish. So as a breeder, you've just got to be careful of that. But this is the first generation that I've done that with dad and daughter. And as you can see, the dad is absolutely stunning. I initially got the dad from Something Fishy in Cleveland, Ohio. If you've never stopped by that store and you live in the area, I would highly suggest you go. Absolutely awesome store, and Dave Hale, the owner, knows his stuff, that's for sure. So make sure you go there and check out some of the stuff he has for sale if you're big into African cichlids, because that's what he specializes in. So been breeding these now for about 3 years, and this is the outcome. As you can see, we've got one male in there that's just awesome. He is about 1.5 to 2 inches right now, and he's showing a lot of color. Really happy with the color. The fins haven't quite came in yet, but I'm hoping that they do as he grows. The rest of the ones in there, I think I've got a few more males that are starting to show color right now, but you know, with African cichlids, some of them can show tremendous color early on, and then you might get a late bloomer once I take that guy out of the tank, and that is the plan eventually. I'm going to take him out of this tank and put him in one of the top 33 gallons that I've got over the 55s, and I'm just going to have him in there by himself and just basically feed him a boatload of food, do a boatload of water changes on him, and hopefully get those fins coming out and basically just prep him, because right now he's going to be my next breeder male, seeing as I lost my previous one that I was using in tandem with the father at the same time. Feeding schedule with these guys, I feed them 2 different foods right now. I feed them North Fin pellets, and then, as you saw, the Cobalt Ultra Color Flakes. Both of the foods seem to be working out lovely, and I feed them twice a day, basically whenever I get home from work at like 3, 4 o'clock, and then the next time when I come downstairs to turn all the fish room lights off at probably about 10:30, 11 o'clock. So getting fed twice a day, weekly water changes of 50%. Sometimes I try and do a little more if I can, and maybe I'll increase it to like 2 50% water changes once a week, as you know, it's meant to help with growth. And if you have got any questions about growing out African cichlids, be sure to check out the video that I linked earlier, the 6 tips on growing out African cichlids. I think you'll really like that one, and there's a lot of cool tips in there. So that's basically the 40-gallon breeder. So we're pretty much done with the fish room tour now, and what I want to do real quick is just show you the Blue Neon that is really getting some nice color, because I just think he's awesome. So we'll take a look at him, and that'll be it for today's video, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this one. Feel free to ask me any questions in the comments, and be sure to like this video. It will really help push the video out to more people and keep this channel growing. I would love to get to 5,000 in the near future. Just depends on growth, but I'd really appreciate it if you help me get there. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.